Today we are reviewing these two behemoths, and we are going to go through all the differences and see which one you should buy. The LX570 retails at $160,000 and the LX450d retails at $150,000. There are more than a few differences other than the engine, so we're going to go into full detail, going to take them for a nice drive. These both cars are the standard variants in Australia, so no enhancement packs, no options. So if we start off with the LX570, as you can see, it is just a beautiful car. Now, while we're on the outside, let's have a look at the 450d. As you can see, the suspension's raised on this on the highest point. However, there are no differences to the outside. They are identical. So really, other than the badge difference at the back, you would not be able to tell which car is which. This is in the Starlight Black option, which is just a stunning color. You can see that sparkle through the paint. And the 450d is the titanium color, which is just fantastic for covering up any dirt, dust. Like, you will not be able to see it, but this car is just filthy. It's got the nice 20-inch wheels, as does the 450. The big gaping grille at the front. The tri-LED high beams with LED headlights. Front camera just underneath the Lexus sign there. Now that Lexus sign is the adaptive cruise control. That's why it's got that glass finish. Now, both cars come with side steps as standard. These huge windows, privacy glass. And at the back, a nice big electronic tailgate, split open tailgate, and rear spoiler as well. Now if we come to the 570, you can see the beautiful appointed center console with the huge 12.3-inch screen. It's got this nice wood finish steering wheel as well. It's got still a analog dial at the front. All your four-wheel driving options down there, your gear stick of course, and your mouse pad for your screen in front of you. It's got these very soft leather seats, all electric power options, and of course seat memory here. Now the 570 actually comes with a sunroof as well. The 450 misses out on that. Now if we come to the back, it's in the 570 we've got these nice rear entertainment DVDs. Huge rear seats, some beautiful speakers there, wood grain trim, all reclinable. As you can see, that one there's reclined back. Now the rear seats also have all electric power options forward and back, so you can see that there. And of course in the 570 we have the fold up seats with rear seating at the back. Now this is an 8-seater, similar to the Landcruiser, as you can see there. That is all actually electronic, believe it or not. Look at that, it's just coming down electronically. You give it a pull with the lever. Then you press this button, it comes back down. And goes back up. How neat is that? Now, something I noticed in actually bringing these seats up is I had to push the seat forward so that these seats wouldn't, what I mean by that is, hit the rear entertainment DVD as they were coming down. And the reason for that is Lexus has this amazing feature called easy access, easy entry. So anytime you turn off the car, what actually happens is the seat goes back and the steering wheel column comes up automatically, so you can get in and out of the car easier, which is the most fantastic feature you can have. So it's got this feature so you can get in and out of the car easier. However, if that feature is turned on and you got somebody in the third row, every time the seat goes back, the people in the middle row will not be able to put the middle row down to let their kids out because the rear entertainment DVD is in the way. Now, of course, in the 570, so you'll have to either turn the function off or keep the car running until the people in the back row have come out. So, however, let's get back to the features. So, another cool feature is that when you do park the car up and you turn the car off, it drops automatically to its lowest suspension setting, so that way you can get out of the car easier. The 570, along with all these stunning features, actually comes with the Mark Levinson sound system as well, which the 450d misses out on. Now, in terms of all the off-roading, everything is standard. The 360-degree camera is standard. These leather and nice appointed seats are standard. All electric power options for both driver and passenger seats, all standard. Now, the 570, as you can see, comes very well appointed. And the 450 has this stunning ivory interior finish. Look at that. It's absolutely stunning. And the 450 comes so well equipped. It still has the wood grain trim, the piano black finish. As you can see, it's missing out on the Mark Levinson sound system. It's got all the four-wheel drive options. Of course, it still has the chiller box as well. The huge 12.3-inch screen. It does miss out on the sunroof. It misses out on the Mark Levinson. No rear entertainment DVDs. And that means that if I was to push these seats down, yep, it doesn't hit anything. However, you wouldn't need to because there's no 8-seater option in this. You know, so those are the biggest differences between the 450 and the 570. But if you had a family of 8 and you wanted to get the diesel variant, you couldn't. You'd have to get the Sahara. But then you don't get all the luxury features, but then you have to go to the 570. But then you're going to be spending more money in fuel. Now, they both come so well optioned to begin with. The adaptive cruise control, all the pre-collision warning system, the blind spot monitors, the lane departure warning system as well. All leather upholstery, seat warmers as well, standard on both of them. So they come incredibly well optioned. So which car would you go for? Well, if you need 8 seats, there's only one option, and that's the 570. Then the 570 comes with the standard model, the enhancement pack, and the special edition, which we'll go into a few details later on as well. But if you do not need the 8 seats and you can get away without having the rear DVDs or a sunroof or a 17 speaker sound system, the 450 might be the better way to go, because between the two of them there is a huge fuel efficiency difference. And if you're going to be doing a fair amount of driving, it of course will make a difference to your pocket in the long term. So anyways, let's take them both for a run. Let's see how they feel on the road. Let's take them up a nice uphill so to see the power in them, because even though the 570 has a bit more grunt in it, the 450 being a twin turbo diesel has a bit more torque. So let's take them both for a run and let's see how they feel. It's just so smooth, this car. Like, this road here is just, well, it's a horrible piece of road. There's no going about it. And it's just so smooth. Almost like we're in a limousine. You know, if you've watched the LS video, you might have heard me mention it feels like you're driving on a cloud. And the LX is no different, you know, and you'd think it would be, you know, considering that it's so much higher, and so huge and so heavy. But darn it, they've done such a good job, you know. And this is a four-wheel drive car. This is a direct comparator with the Sahara in the Toyota edition. But it just drives so much smoother. It's appointed so much nicer. And it just feels so controlled. And to talk about the insulation, it's got double glazing on the front window. So that means if I put my windows down, everything is just so loud out there. If I put my window up, it's like I'm separate to the world. So quiet. Now, I really want to get into the fact of what makes this car so special. All the systems that Lexus have created to keep the car grounded on the road. Now, this includes stuff like the air suspension that Lexus have put into this car, the adaptive variable rate, dampers, the adaptive variable height control, the active height control, the roll posture control, which means that if I go around the corner like that, the car is going to keep me on the ground. Now, with that, Lexus have created double wishbone suspension at the front and 4-link suspension at the back to make sure that the wheel stays planted on the ground. You got this little button here, and that's the crawl feature. Now, it says crawl/MTS, and what MTS does is adjust how the car is delivering power to each wheel, because it is a 4-wheel drive and it's constantly driving in 4-wheel drive mode. Now, you've got different driving modes being Eco, Comfort, Normal, Sports, and Sports Plus. Now, between these 6, what happens is in Eco mode, doesn't matter how hard you rev the engine, it's going to accelerate the car gradually. In sports mode, it does exactly opposite. So what's going to happen is if you put your foot hard on the accelerator, it's going to take off really quickly. Now, when you go into Sports Plus, however, what happens is it stiffens the dampers. So that means there's going to be a lot less roll around the corners. You're going to feel every little bump on the road, and you're going to feel a lot more agile, especially in a car this size. In comfort mode, it's the complete opposite. It's almost like you're in a boat. So if you put into comfort settings, there's going to be, whoa, a lot more roll in the car. And then if you put into normal mode, still a bit of roll in the car. So if I put it into Sports Plus mode, all of a sudden, there's a lot less roll in the car, and it's just like staying grounded. Considering how high we are off the ground, it's very impressive. If you were to put it into Sports Plus mode, and take the bend a lot harder, it's just keeping the car so grounded. But now I'm feeling every little bump, and I can't say that it's too pleasant. You know what's really good is the seating position. Like, you're sitting upright, and like I'm sitting in the lowest seating position there is, and it's a very comfortable position. Steering wheels are a good length away, and you can get really high as well. Like, if you're a shorter person, oh, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. There we go, that's better. Now let's test the 0 to 60. Here we go. Yeah, that's powerful. That is a force of power, and all this coming from a 3.3 ton car. Now we have to remember, it's got 270 kilowatts, this car, and 530 Newton meters of torque. Like, that's massive. However, the diesel that we're going to jump into has less power, but more Newton meters of torque, because not only is a V8 diesel, it's twin turbo. So let's jump into the car now. Whoa. Now we are in the diesel, and as you can see, not much changes. Like, same car really. Of course, you can tell that there's no sunroof up here or no rear entertainment DVD system there. It's still a very luxurious feel, and I do have to say that Lexus knows how to make an interior. Like this color, this what they call ivory trim, is just stunning. It looks so luxurious, and it has this soft leather feel, which, oh, you can just get comfortable in it. And the wood grain trim, which is again on both of the cars, it just feels so good. The one thing which I have to question, and what was Lexus thinking, is these cream colored carpets. Like, if you were to go off-roading and you decide to get this color, those carpets would not last a day. They do look good though, so I don't know. You probably won't get ivory trim if you're deciding to go off-roading in the car, so that's besides the point. So, how does the car feel and drive compared to the petrol? Well, first of all, it is louder. You know, it is noticeably louder. And what I mean by that is, let me turn off. I've got that diesel rattle. But she pulls and she pulls hard. Now the reason for that is, even though it's got less power, it's got 200 kilowatts instead of 270 in the petrol, the big turbos in this car, the twin turbos in this car, mean that this car has 650 Newton meters of torque. 650 Newton meters of torque. That's insane. That means up this hill, oh yeah, no problem. What hill? What? Oh man, she's powerful. That's all. That's for sure. And like this is, remember how we were talking about in the 570, all this different suspension and all these different systems. It brakes so smoothly. Going around this corner, smooth. Better diesel rattle, not bad. And let's face it, you're not going to hear the diesel rattle if you are driving with music on. And other than the fact that I need to have the music off because we're talking here, from the few times that I've driven this car, if you have the sound on about 15 to 20, depending on what you're listening to, you just won't even hear the car. That's like, it is really good in terms of insulation. And again, if we put the window down, it's got that double glazing, which Lexus loves to do on their flagship models, which means the insulation is just unbelievable. How's it feel on the road? Not too much different than the petrol. And that's what's so good about these cars. They're not interchangeable, but it doesn't matter if you get the petrol one or if you get the diesel one. It comes down to what you really need. Now, just to reiterate, all the suspension settings and all the multi-terrain select settings that we spoke about here for the petrol one is all the same for the diesel. The V8 in the diesel is a 4.5 liter V8 with twin turbos. The petrol is a 5.7 liter V8 naturally aspirated. And also, the petrol has an 8-speed automatic gearbox with paddle shifts, and the diesel has a 6-speed with paddle shifts. Taking off, that was 0 to 60 uphill in the diesel, and you can see she just does not struggle. It's actually a really good car. Such a good car. Now let's check out the turning circle. Not bad. Not bad at all. Also, this car is so huge. It's for almost 5.1 meters long, 5.08 to be exact, and 1.9 meters wide. That means that on the road, you definitely got some good presence on the car. It's a very hard to miss. But here's the thing, it's still easy to drive on the road. Like, you can still see the bonnet very clearly actually. Like, I'm on my lowest seating position and I can see all of the bonnet. Not only do you feel like you're driving a luxury car, but you feel so safe and secure knowing that doesn't matter what you put the car through, you know that the car will have you. You know that the car will keep you on the road, it will keep you grounded, it will keep you planted, and it will do so in style. And comfort, and comfort. Now, something worth mentioning as well is the fact that the turbo diesel variant is a lot more fuel efficient than the petrol. It's about 9.5 as opposed to 14.4 liters on the petrol. Now, if you need an 8-seater option, there's just nothing you can do. You have to get the petrol. But if you don't, this is something worth considering, because in the diesel, you get a 93-liter tank as you do in the petrol. But because the petrol uses so much more fuel, it has a dual tank, which means you get an additional 45-liter tank. Which means in total, you have a 138-liter tank in the petrol. And look, on the highway, they both get a good fuel economy. The diesel here about 8.5, and the petrol one gets to about, I think, 10.9, which is really reasonable for a V8 petrol and a 3.3 ton car. It's just worth mentioning, in the long term, it will make a difference as well.
And that is a wrap on the Lexus LX450d and the Lexus LX570. I really hope you guys have enjoyed the video as much as I love driving these cars. Now, in terms of which is the better car or which is the one to choose, really, they both drive so smoothly on the road and so comfortably, and with all the luxury features, it just depends on what you're going to be using the car for. If you're driving on the open roads and you're doing a lot of cross-country traveling, definitely the diesel variant, because you're going to be saving a lot on fuel. Now, if you do need an 8-seater variant here in Australia anyways, the petrol one is definitely the one to go for. And if you're only doing around town driving, the petrol one is definitely the one to go for, because I'll never recommend the diesel because they're built for the open road, So in terms of luxury features and how they feel on the road, they're so similar and so smooth. And like I said, even with the diesel being that touch bit louder, if you got music on, you'll never know the difference, So anyways, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please press the like button and subscribe, because we have so many awesome videos coming. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.
Ooh, fancy. I love that. Like, it's going up, 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 and then just slows down and soft close windows.